People seem to pursue happiness all the time. But what is happiness? Today we'll be talking about 5 truths to help you experience joy and happiness in your life. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Colleen. I'm Colleen Hammond. I'm a former on-camera meteorologist for the Weather Channel, turned executive image consultant, coach, and mentor. A lot of questions recently about happiness. So I thought I would cover that this morning. And people say, "Oh, but I'm just not happy. I'm just not happy. How come you're so happy all the time?" And so I thought, I pulled out some old notes and thought I would come up with a list of how to improve yourself and make this journey toward happiness go a little smoother. So actually that was yesterday's crawl, so I had to delete that one. I wasn't ready with my lower third this morning. So anyway, number 1 is you pretty much get from life what you expect. So if you're running around thinking, I'm not happy, I'm not this, I'm not that, guess what? You're not, because you're going to get what you expect. You seek what you find. You bring about what you think about. And so if your expectations are that you're going to lose, you will. I remember when I was working at the Weather Channel, we went on a trip, and a guy I used to work with, Kevin, I'm not going to use his whole name because he's still, anyway, he's still pretty big and he works at a network level. But anyway, Kevin was just delightful and I enjoyed his friendship so much. But he was always seeing the glass half empty. And we had the Weather Channel, we all got together on weekends. A lot of us did things together. And we went on a whitewater rafting trip. And the entire drive up from Atlanta up into the mountain area, he was like, you know what? I'm so afraid I'm going to fall out. I just know I'm going to fall out. What happens if I fall out of the raft into the rapids? And we're like, Kevin, you're wearing a life jacket, number 1, and number 2, rarely do people fall out. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you guessed it. We're going down the rapids and I'm in the front left. And we're going over, and they weren't like 5s or anything. I think they were like 3s, 4s maybe. So it wasn't huge rapids. But he's getting freaked out. And I hear this scream, and I turn, and all I see are the bottom of his feet as he goes over backwards off the edge of the raft. And they tell you what to do. You just go through some rapidy areas, and then it kind of levels out, and then you go through some rapids, and it levels out. And so they're like, you cross your arms, you cross your feet, and you just kind of stay together, and you eventually will make your way down the river, and we'll just pick you up because you have a really good life jacket on. But that's one of my favorite examples of what you think about, you bring about, because that's all Kevin talked about the entire time, weeks before he knew in his mind that he was, and so his brain was like, we're going to fall out of this boat, and his brain found a way to make it happen. So if you expect that you're going to be average, guess what? You'll probably be average. If you expect that, you're going to feel bad about things, or I'm never going to find anybody, or this is never going to work out, your brain will go, this is never going to work out. And it'll make sure it finds a way because you're telling it what to do. And your brain is dumb, right? It doesn't have a GPS, doesn't have a clock. It just knows what you tell it. And if you constantly tell it one thing, it's going to believe you. And so your expectations for yourself, you'll deliver on that. But guess what? Your expectations for other people get delivered too. If you expect other people to behave in a certain way and you tell them that, eventually that's how they're going to behave, because that's what they hear from you all the time. So what you think about is what you bring about. Your expectations become your reality. So that doesn't mean I expect I'm going to be a millionaire and suddenly $1 million are going to appear in your bank. But as you'll see in a couple later steps, if you have a plan and you expect and plan for the best, but have a backup plan in case things don't work out, because, we have a map. We know where we're going. Sometimes we end up on the shoulder. You're going to stay there and be roadkill, like I've said before, or you're going to get back on your path. And if you come into a construction zone, does that mean you just give up? Or do you like, okay, there's our detour, so you go on the detour? That's life. But you have your shiny happiness map, and that's what you're going for. And you know that sometimes you're going to have a flat tire, sometimes you're going to be on the shoulder, sometimes there's going to be construction. All the time there's going to be construction, right? Have you ever been on the roads lately? And that's where you head. So number one is if you get what you expect from ourselves and from other people. Number two, the difference between average and excellent is training. The only way to get to the next step in life of whatever you want to do is to learn something new. And what's the saying? If you continue to do what you've always done, you're going to get what you already have. If you want something new, if you want something different, then you need to train for that. You need to get yourself a little bit more educated. You need to seek out other people and their experiences and their knowledge and learn from other people who are already doing the things that you want to do and see how they're doing it. Football teams prepare and train and learn. Oh gosh, who said this last night? Joanne, I think you were probably there. I was watching, it was April. It was like Oprah continues to train. You don't see her sitting down. Who are all these people that are super successful? They don't stop learning. They don't stop pushing. They don't stop progressing forward. There's no place in life. Life's a journey. Happiness is a journey as well. So don't be sitting on your laurels, and don't just be sitting there expecting wonderful things to happen and just sitting back. Number one, yeah, expect good things. But number two, learn new things. So while you're expecting great things and happiness, you're learning new things as well. Everybody is constantly training and preparing for their next step in life. So, if you don't, you're operating at a disadvantage, right? So if you want to improve, if you want to move forward, if you want to take your life from from average to good, from good to great, from great to awesome to excellent, then you have to learn new things. Because if you continue where you're at right now, you'll keep getting what you have right now. So number three, decide what you want to find, and you'll find it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now. But when you look for the good things, you'll find them. It's the same thing, if I say, okay, close your eyes and think about the color red. Now, what is red? Now, what do you know about things that are red? And what do you if they're red? You open your eyes, suddenly you'll see all the red things in the room. And then if I tell you to close your eyes and think about brown, and you open your eyes, suddenly you'll see all the brown things in the room. What you're thinking about is what you find, is what you see. So when you look for the good things, you'll find them. Same thing, if you think about the bad things, you'll find them. It's your expectations. And Vicki can speak to this, as part of supportive spouses. Right? When you look for the best, if you expect the best out of your spouse, no matter what your spouse does, you look through that lens of if they're a nice person or if you don't think they're a nice person. You'll interpret things differently. So we can be looking at the same thing, the same actions, the same activities, and how the lenses that we're looking at will determine how we interpret what's going on. So if you look for opportunities to grow and prosper, you'll find them. Now, somebody else may say, yeah, but you have a flat tire and you're on the side of the road. Yeah, but you know what that allowed me to do? That allowed me to, because you get what you look for. And if you constantly look at things as being disastrous and down, yeah, exactly, Vicki, be careful what you focus on, right? So if you look for positive, enthusiastic, supportive friends, like everybody that's here in the family this morning, you find them. If you look for ways to cheat, you'll find ways to cheat. If you look for ways to, that your spouse is a jerk, you'll find them. If you look for ways to hold a grudge, you'll find them. So be careful what you think about. Be careful what you're looking for, because you'll find exactly what you're looking for. So we have that natural tendency to justify our own thoughts. right? That's why first impressions are such lasting impressions, because we will find ways to justify our thinking. And, I have children that are in the dating age ranges right now, and two of them are in serious relationships. And I said, the brain is a funny thing. You can justify your actions and you can justify doing things. Yeah, but we plan on getting married. So your brain will look for things to justify and cover yourself, right? So if you're not careful, you have to look at the facts. So live by the foundation of your non-negotiables, your virtues, your beliefs, your honesty, your character, your integrity, your faith, your loyalty, and your love. Those are the things that when you focus on those things, you will find them. And when you don't, you'll be drawn to selfishness, self-gratification, misery, unfulfilled dreams, because you're sitting back and waiting for things to happen instead of going out and making them happen. Anyway, look for the good and always look for a way to help other people. Number 4, don't make a promise that you don't intend to keep. It's pretty simple. Your word is your bond. And if you make promises that you don't intend to keep, you'll have that, we were talking about Pigpen the other day, you'll have that cloud over the top of you that you can't get out from underneath, right? So far too many people make promises that they can't keep. Don't be one of those people. Stand out in the world, right? And even if you have the best of intentions, when you said it, you truly thought you could, or maybe you just wanted to make somebody feel better and you said it anyway. But if you don't make a plan to do it, it probably won't get done, right? If you don't have a map, if you don't have a target to shoot at, you won't get it done. So don't be the person that makes the promise that they don't fulfill, because ultimately you will have that cloud hanging over the top of your head. Even if you don't consciously think about it, if you're a person of integrity and you told somebody that you would do something and you don't, you're going to feel bad. So don't say things just to make other people feel better unless you fully intend to fulfill your promise and you have a plan of action and a deadline and you get it on your calendar. So that's one of the reasons I think that marriages fail, is because people don't have that level of commitment. They may have the best intentions of going in, till death do us part, unless somebody else better comes along or you tick me off, right? But do they have the full intention to complete the commitment, to see it through until the end? And I'm talking about abusive situations or things like that. Now, don't get that confused. But, I think one of the reasons that, our divorce rate is so high is that people lack that sense of commitment. They're looking for something better. Maybe they jumped too soon, who knows? But they're not planning for the sacrifices that need to be made when they made their promise. So in general, don't make a promise unless you have a plan to complete that promise. And number 5 is, finally, happiness is there if you know what to look for. And one of the things to look for is helping other people. I don't feel, that anybody can be truly, truly happy unless they help other people be happy. And if everybody helped one other person be happy today, 2 people would be happy. Imagine what that would do if everybody on the planet tried to help somebody else be happy today. Imagine what we could accomplish. Imagine what could happen. So knowing what produces real happiness is when you help other people be happy, then happiness is multiplied. So once you start to worry, and once you start to focus on the things you don't have and how horrible things are, you've lost focus in the right areas. You're no longer looking for happiness, you're looking for misery. You're looking to justify all the reasons you don't feel good. For heaven's sakes, everybody has a bad day. We all don't. I don't have it all together. You know, what you see, again, you see exactly what you're intended to see. And that's true for everybody's life. So what you seek is what you will find. And when you seek happiness, when you seek gratefulness, when you seek gratitude, and you focus on being grateful and looking for 3 new things to be grateful for every single solitary day, you will multiply your happiness beyond your wildest belief just by finding, even if it's 1 new thing a day, to be grateful for. And remember to be grateful for the little things. I mean, I think it was Corrie ten Boom when talking about World War II, and she was in the concentration camps, and she was thankful for the fact that they had so many fleas in their barracks. And they were the barracks that she was in, was the flea infested barracks. And she said, thank you, God, for the fleas. And they were like, thank you, God, for the fleas. Are you kidding me? This is the worst place on the entire concentration camp. For the entire camp, this is the worst building to be in. She goes, I don't know, but I'm thanking God for the fleas. And because it was so flea infested, the guards never came in there. They were allowed to have prayer services and talk about things that the other prisoners weren't able to discuss because of the fleas. So don't forget to be grateful for the things that you might not think of being the best things in the world. The flat tire, the time you're on the shoulder, the time your life takes a detour. Thank you, God. I don't know why, but everything happens for a reason. And when you start looking for things that way, you get what you expect. So number 1, you will get from yourself and others what you expect. Number 2, the difference from meh to awesome is training, learning, education. Go out and find someone to learn from. Number 3, you will find in life what you look for. If you look for goodness, you'll find it. If you look for good friends, you'll find them. If you look for opportunities, you'll find them. If you look for ways to cheat, you'll find that too. If you look for ways that your spouse is a jerk, you'll find that too, because everybody's flawed. If you look for ways to hold a grudge, you'll be holding a grudge. You will get what you look for. And number 4, don't make promises you don't fully intend to commit to and to keep. Every promise, your word is your bond. And if you're a person of character and you don't fulfill that promise, you will carry that around for the rest of your life. And sometimes people have passed away and you can't fulfill that promise, but fulfill it with somebody else, right? So do whatever it takes to complete that commitment. And then finally, number 5, happiness is universal when you know what to look for, and what you need to look for is gratitude. If you focus on gratitude and helping other people find happiness, guess what? Your happiness will explode. So I hope these tips were helpful for you. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you click the little bell and send me the little checkbox that says, send me a reminder when something new is uploaded. And comment, what do you find is happiness for you? Go ahead and feel free to leave me a comment. And have an amazing weekend. If you're live, stick around. We'll continue the conversation. If not, I'll see you next time. Bye.